Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. Like, sub, and subscribe. It don't cost a dime. Welcoming you all on this fine Monday morning. Mondays do suck. Yes, they do. And I'm listening to my phone. Oh, wait a second. 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 The bat phone. You never know who's going to call. But I mean, at least me. But in the real world, when you have children, uh, your phone's connected to your hip. Some dudes have no idea what that like because they're still in their 50s, thinking they're like 21. Oops, did I say that? Like I really give a fuck. Excuse my language. All right. We're dropping 9 defensive tackles today that I've dropped already, but there was a glitch in the matrix. So I apologize about that. Wait a second. On an off week, still the best beard on YouTube. I try to spice things up on it, man. You ever watch some dudes' channels and there's just like, they're so stale. It's like legit stale, like 6-month-old bread from the dollar store, right? So, we're going to talk 9 defensive tackles today. And I gave them to you already, but I got to give them to you again, so I apologize. Vernon Broughton, Texas, 6'6", 315. Has played inside and outside. Has 40 games under his belt. Now, as crazy as it sounds, this kid has flex. At that size, you could put him at 1, you could put him at 3, in my opinion. Listen, bro, I feel sorry for the people that never lifted, never played sports in their lives. You're that size, you're 315, you throw an extra meal in, you throw an extra 2 meals in. 330 is right around the corner, man. It's not hard. When people say it's hard to gain weight, bro, they just don't know how to eat, or they don't eat right. You can't gain weight, eat more. You can't gain weight, eat more meals. I never had that problem. I had the opposite problem. I had to starve myself to get shredded, but that was at a different sport. But I was just always naturally been a big kid. I mean, I think, well, that's another story. All right. Next kid we're going over, Lee Hunter, Central Florida. This kid, he's a straight 1-0. He's a 1, this kid. 6'3", 340. But surprisingly, very, very active. Last year, 70 tackles, 5 sacks. Is anyone talking about him? No. And I gave you him over a month ago. Month and a half ago, I gave you him. No one's talking about him. He is a 1 that has, don't be shocked if he gets you, 2, 3 sacks a year, 4 sacks. That could be, that's just, icing on the cake, let's just say. Next kid is a kid, Jordan Birch, Oregon. He's a South Carolina transfer. 6'6", 305. Some people have him as an edge. I don't see him playing edge at 305. In my opinion, he's going to either be a 1 or a 5 tech in a 3-4 defense. Like I've said this before, and I'll say it again, This is a channel for all 32 NFL teams. I am a Dallas fan, but this is a college draft channel. And I talk, NFL, but this is college football. This is the draft and college football. Some people have him down as an edge. I just don't see it unless this kid, goes on Ozempic or Wegovy, which I wouldn't recommend it. But in my opinion, he, is active. He had 35 tackles last year. But in my opinion, a coach is going to see 6'6", 305 and be like, yo, how is he going to be if we throw 30 pounds on him? So he's either going to be a 1 or a 5, in my opinion. Or you could leave him at that size and throw him at 5 for a 3-4 defensive team, which we have a few in the NFL. And then also some coaches run a variation. If you're a smart defensive coordinator, you should be throwing like 5 defenses out every single Sunday just to give offensive coordinators, we got a game plan for this, game plan for that, game plan for this, game plan for that. That's why I don't think Mike Zimmer, which is smart, but he's an old guy, old tough coaches, versus these young kids that just play Madden and they're all into analytics. He ain't going to show his hand, Zimmer, yet. So, gave you 3 guys already. Next kid, spoke about him already. Jay Toya, UCLA, USC transfer, 6'2", 340. We all know these island guys, they're just built differently, whether it comes to wrestling, whether it comes to football, MMA, all the dudes that play these sports that just say like they're built differently. Like you just can't hurt them. Ironically, last year Dallas was like one of the only teams that drafted he was either Samoan or Tongan, Fioku, and we're the only team that drafts Highland guys and they suck. Is Dallas? Thanks, Dan Quinn. So, but Jay Toya he's basically a 0, no thrills, run clogger. You know what you're going to get. You're not going to get any sacks. Don't think you're going to get him. Drop 30 pounds. He's going to be a pass rusher. But if Dallas drafted him, that's what our fan base would want to do with him. He's a big run clogger. That's what you get. No frills. And that's fine with me when your team needs that. That's fine with me. Next kid, not a small school kid, but I throw you big school kids and I throw you small school kids. I'm not going to just be like the regular draft dude that throws you 10 players and they're all Power 5 schools. Nah, bro, come on, man. That's no fun. Wakovia Thomas. Gotta love these names. I can't even pronounce half of them, to be honest. I'm lucky I can pronounce my name, to be honest with you. I like to joke around. 6'1", 320. Giant space eater, is productive at his level, which you want to see at a lower level competition. And like I've said it before, say it again. Look at all these NFL rosters. Look at all these practice squads. You'd be shocked at all these small college kids you see. You really do. Next, Tim Smith, Bama, 6'4", 305. He's played 1, he plays 3. We all know Bama plays similar to Georgia where they rotate their guys up and down the line. So he's been a rotational player up until this point in his career. He has to just make the next step. Could he come back for another year? Yeah. But this year, in order to, get drafted, he has to come out. He has to have a solid, productive year. Bama has still been putting out good defensive linemen, but Bama's offensive linemen lately, except the kid that the Philadelphia Eagles took, I think Landon Dickerson, I think, ironically, a center with no ligaments in his knee. He's been the best offensive lineman in Alabama, like in the last 4 years. But what do I know? Next kid, and I gave you him, and I talked about Miami's. How ironic! Miami's 2-0 and smoked both teams, and I hyped them up before the season. I said, watch out for Miami. Right now, Miami is the clear favorite for the ACC, in my opinion. But it's very, very early. Their quarterback, Ward, which I've talked about, and I'm going to give it you again. He's going off. The O-line, the wide receivers, Xavier Restrepo, they all have a good season. And Miami has a sick defensive line. I've given you a couple of their guys already, and I've given you more. Akeem Massador, now he's on the shorter, smaller side, 6'2", 300. In 2022, he had 7 sacks and 40 tackles. 2023, he was injured, only played in a couple games, very small, couple. When I say couple, like a couple, 2 or 3. So he's playing good this year. All of Miami's D-line's playing good. Simon Barrow, I spoke, I don't know, I spoke about him. Michigan State transfer. The kid's a monster. He reminds me of an old Michigan State defensive lineman who had a very successful NFL career, Robert Smith. A lot of guys, when I see dudes, I comp them to other players that I've seen in the past. And this dude, Robert Smith, played 30 years. For all the guys that are new at this, like I said, I know I look 21, but I'm really, really old. This ain't my first rodeo. Next kid, Christian Williams, Missouri, or as the people that live there call it, Misery. But they got big deer, man. They got some big deer in Missouri. They got big deer, so I like Missouri. He's an Oregon transfer, 6'1", 310. Could he put on more size? Yes. He's playing in a different division now. So, similar to where Oregon was last year. So, I'm going to say his pass rushing skills in this division is going to have to be a little bit better than his run blocking. But Missouri got 2 sick wide receivers, which I've given you them already. Last kid, I spoke about him. No one's talking about him. Ty Robinson. I don't know if I should do my video like this way with the side profile with the beard, or if I should just joking. Ty Robinson, Nebraska. 6'6", 310. Bro, non-stop motor this kid had. Last year, 30 tackles, 1.5 sacks. He has to I'm going to take that back, man. 30 tackles, 1 sack, 6'6", 310. Has the frame to get a lot bigger. But the non-stop motor, you cannot coach. You can't. Either somebody has that or they don't. You get knocked to the ground, you stay there, or you get back up. This kid has the size, the skills, and the non-stop motor that some scout, some defensive line coach is gonna fall in love with this kid. Am I saying he's a round 1, round 2, round 3 draft pick? No, it's way too early in the season. He's gonna get drafted. And even if he doesn't, he's an undrafted free agent. But he is a name to watch out for. So, altogether, I've dropped 29 defensive tackles. Most people give you 10. I can give you 10 with my eyes closed. Let's be honest, people. So I apologize. I had to do this a second time, but I can't help when there's a glitch in the matrix. So we dropped our 9. Let's see. Got to go to the old dictionary. Now we should be going to edge. I think I even gave you more edges. No. All right. So wait up. I gotta make sure I don't lose my other defensive tackles because I dropped so many of them. Hold on. Hold on. We all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Have a happy Monday, everybody. Over and out. Coming out with another video in about a minute. I apologize. Not really.